agama ya, rally.
Ya.
Yuk kita berdoa dulu sebentar ya. Berdoa menurut kepercayaan dan keyakinan masing-masing, berdoa mulai. Amin. Semangat ya teman-teman, semoga lancar sampai akhir technical meeting ini. Amin.
Makasih,
Yuk,
Mbak.
aku mulai untuk admit all ya, semua pesertanya.
Oke.
Oke, 3, 2,
Hello everyone, if you already joined the room, I welcome you to change your name into the format down below. You can see it. So you put your team name underscore your name for your participant's name in the Zoom. And meanwhile, we're waiting for the technical meeting to begin. You can put in your registration form in the screen. Just scan the barcode and fill it in.
Hello, Abigail. Hello. Hello, Abigail. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We already opened the registration form actually, but in here, we only can submit 3 team members and 1 team leader, which means if we have 5 members in our team.
Sorry, your voice is missing.
Oh, okay. We already opened the registration part of participant where we have submit the team name and also the leader of our team name, but we just can find. Okay, but we only can find 3 space for members team name. What should we do if we have 4 team members? Because there are there are just 3 team members name in the registration form.
Oh, okay. If you have more than 3 members, you could just put more than one name in the one person's. So you put several people's name in one box. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Abigail.
You're welcome.
Miss Abigail,
Yes.
yeah, related to the previous question, I'm actually missing one name because I thought each section only should be answered with one name. So I kind of not putting one of my members' name in the registration form. Is that okay?
Oh, and the G form is already updated. So when you open it again, you could just like put all the team members in there. All the boxes are ready for them.
So I just need to fill the registration form again.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Sorry, may I ask questions about the registration?
Sure, sure.
Yes. Since we already confirm or filling the registration form and there is one left member, and we just knew that we can put more than one name in one box. So when I went back to the forms, it's already recorded. So is there any another options?
Okay, for all the team, if you already put the name of your members, just 3 of them, we already refreshed the G form. It's okay, just refill it again. It won't
Alright.
affect the last time recorded session.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. So for all the participants that already joined, please make sure if you haven't registered, scan the barcode on your screen and then access the G form. Put down your member's name because in 10 minutes the chat meeting will begin.
Hi, Abigail.
Yes.
I would like to ask questions. So I have same as the previous question. So I have recorded the answer, but whenever I try to refill it again, it says that you have already you can only fill out this form only once. It says like that. So do you have any other solutions for that? Thank you.
So the G form is actually, if you want to refill it again, it's okay. It won't affect the previous session. But if you cannot log in to the G form, maybe you could try to insert another email. Maybe, yeah, another Teams member could try to fill the G form.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would like to remind again, for those of you who already joined, please change your name into the format that's on your screen. So you put on your team name and then your name. The registration will close in 3 minutes. Hello everyone, welcome to the Marketition. I'm Abigail. I'll be assisting you from this right now from until late in the evening. We'll be spent the rest of the evening together. I'm welcoming all the participants to open your camera. How are you doing? With Marketition this year, it's a little bit different from last year since everything is happened virtually. And as so as the case, and we'll talk about that in a bit later on. You can also see this whole event, the technical meeting, on YouTube, as it is live, real time. Next slide. So for today, before we begin, I welcome you, the head of TIU, Quality Improvement Students, School of Business and Economics, University of Prasetya Mulia, for doing a little bit speech before we begin.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you see me all? Okay, welcome to Marketition 2021, everybody. Let me introduce myself. My name is Leonis Marcelina. I represent the Quality Improvement Students unit in School of Business and Economics, Universitas Prasetya Mulia. So I'm so grateful and excited because this year, the Marketition, we have a lot of participants, We have a lot of teams that participate and want to join this competition. Our Marketition, it's our annual competition event that held by the Management Society, whereby Management Society is the postgrad community or organization, under master students in Universitas Prasetya Mulia. So I want to give appreciation and thumbs up to all the committees, especially to the project director, Mr. Henrich, and the team for your great effort and hard work, because of your hard work, guys, so you can make the competition and the event, can start just now. Okay, so with that, before before the MC, and I also want to give congratulations to the MC, Miss Abigail, to welcome you guys, and later on, all the participants and the teams, you guys will be brief about how the competition will be going, and especially we also have the manager program later on, Dr. Krishna, that will explain more about the procedure, of the competition. So I really appreciate, during our pandemic situation, I know that the pandemic give a really huge impact to all of us, that makes the change and alter our life. But I'm so grateful and proud of you. You still can perform and still can adapt, your life. So even you also can join the competition. So you should be proud of yourself, because in this situation that force us to adapt and to survive, uh, but then you also can still achieve, and to do something, for your life. This is really something that we should be appreciate, Okay. Later on, you will face and have to solve the case from our sponsor, our sponsor and our case provider, to the Auto 2000. We are so grateful as well because of the cooperation and your contribution, so we can held this competition. Actually, in this time and in this situation, a lot of companies actually face and affected by the pandemic, So actually, we can how to say, we can see a lot of cases happen because of the pandemic. So the Marketition 2021 actually will give you the opportunity, to dig and to really see the situation, that how the companies, all the sectors, industry, should face the pandemic situation. So I hope during the Marketition competition, that will be held like next month, you must submit the paper, about the case. Hope you can enjoy, hope you can learn something from this event, and hope you can connect with others, with the others university, and also with the international team, so so that you guys can have a really good networking in the future later on. Okay, so I hope I know this situation, force us to conduct the virtual event, but maybe later on someday, we can meet, face to face. Okay, so enjoy the competition, and hope you can achieve a great benefit, from this event, and also you can win, so just enjoy the competition. Okay, thank you for all the committees and the teams. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu. Next up, we have Henrich, the project director of this Marketition. He came from Prasetya Mulia as well. He'll give a little bit opening speech. I welcome Henrich to the stage. Enjoy.
Okay, thank you, MC. Good evening to all participants, Ms. Leonis, and also Prasetya Mulia and also 2000 representative and Marketition Committee that join our technical meeting today. My name is Hendrik. I'm the project director of Marketition 2021, and I'm also an active student of Prasetya Mulia University. And just like me, the other committees in Marketition today are also active students under the supervision of Prasetya Mulia Graduate Student Body Management Society. Marketition is an annual competition created with the purpose to become a platform for graduate students to solve real marketing case by implementing theories that they have learned in class as a part of their journey to be a master. The challenge of business in real world, especially in marketing, are very interesting because we can test ourselves by challenging our own creativity and also competing with each other when it comes to marketing and when it comes to the real world. To serve the purpose, Marketition always making collaboration with companies that help us in providing a real case for our participant. And also this year is our 9th Marketition. Marketition as a brand has undergone a long journey for 8 years in partnership with different companies as our case provider, and also with different graduate students from various universities as our participant. We've developed a lot since the day we start this event, with the help of many people from Management Society, Prasetya Mulia University, and also our partners for 8 years. This year, we are glad to announce our case provider, which is Auto 2000, one of the biggest company in automotive dealership industries in Indonesia. We have intended to not reveal our provider yet before today, because we want our future participants to be ready for any challenges that comes in their way, and of course, to make this competition much more interesting. And also, it has been an honor for Marketition Committee to conduct this event, especially in this pandemic situation, which we need to come up with an online concept that's never been used before in Marketition history. So this is our first time, and there is a lot of challenges in planning and also creating this event. But with the help of many parties from the internal to university, and also the external help that we get, supported by the hard work of our committee this year, we have finally made this competition exist again. Last but not least, on behalf of Marketition Committee, I want to say thank you to all of you. First, to the participant that already invest your time to join our competition, for your interest in taking new challenge with us. And also, I want to say thank you to Prasetya Mulia that always help us in conducting this event, and also becoming our greatest support system whenever we need help. And also we want to thank you to Auto 2000 for their willingness to cooperate with Marketition 2021 as our test provider. Without every single one of you in this room, our effort all this time could be meaningless. So the end of my word is may the best team win the competition. Please enjoy this competition and good luck for all of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Heinrich. So we'll just begin for today's agenda. There's 4 things that we're going to cover for today. Firstly, the event rundown. Second, the rules of the competition. And then the third, the case briefing. And lastly, there will be our Q&A session. We'll just begin. Next slide. So most of you already registered on March 1st. And today, we'll be having the technical meeting and case alignment. And then on May 7th, it's the deadline of your submission to submit executive summary. And then on May 28th, it will be announced the top 12. And then on June 12th, it will be the final round. Next slide. So the dress code. For this Marketition occasion, you'll be expected to dress up formally, specifically with white t-shirt and black blazer. Next slide. Here's the judges, the panelists from the faculty member of Prasetya Mulia. There is Bapak Henry Pribadi, Vice Dean the Third for Student Affairs, the alumni engagement and external relation of University Prasetya Mulia. And then there's Dr. Insinyur Hadianto Wijojo, MM, the director, the undergraduate program and faculty member of graduate program Prasetya Mulia University. And then there's Bapak Krisnamurti Murniardi, BA, MA, PhD, the head of Magister Management Program Universitas Prasetya Mulia and faculty member of graduate program Universitas Prasetya Mulia. And then lastly, there's Dr. Yen Chandra, BSc, MBA, the faculty member of graduate program University Prasetya Mulia. And then outside of the faculty member of Prasetya Mulia, there will still be guest judges that will still hold confidential. It will not be revealed to all the participants because it will be a surprise later on, so that all the participants can compete fairly to analyze and to construct the campaign without knowing who is it gonna be. Next slide. So this is the event rundown for Saturday, 12th June 2021. It will be open 8 in the morning, and then the competition will roll until lunchtime on 12:20 for 1 hour until 13:20. And then you'll be expected to stay in the Zoom room until the evening because there will be press conference and mini quiz. Next slide. For the time that will be given to you for semi-final round, you will be having 15 minutes for pitching and 14 minutes for Q&A. And then for final round, the pitching time will be a little bit, it's not going to be that long. It's just like 10 minutes, but the Q&A session will be longer. It will be 19 minutes. Next slide. And this is the competition rules. For you, if you want to keep all the information to yourself, you're really welcome. If you want to screenshot and have it to your team, I'll just read the competition rules now. So the first, the marketing plan that you sent to Marketition 2021, it has to be original. It can't be plagiarized, and it can't be if it has ever been used in other marketing plan competitions. And then number 2, after you're registered, you cannot change your team member anymore. Number 3, those team who haven't complete their payment term and documents submission before April 8th without any notice will be considered resigning. Number 4, any further information will be informed by Teams LO. Next slide. Number 5, if you have any supporting file and the marketing plan submission, it has to be submitted before the deadline. Number 6, For the elimination round evaluation, it is based on executive summary and 3 to 4 minutes video representation. Number 7, the team will be shortlisted by the judges in the elimination round, and the shortlisted team that move on to the final round has to prepare a presentation. Number 8, the decisions that the committees made are final and it cannot be altered. Number 9, the company reserves the right to make addition without any condition stipulated herein. Next slide. So this is the assessment aspects that will be scored by the panelists on the elimination round. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 things. First, the product. Second, the financial. Third, the marketing campaign. Fourth, the marketing analysis. And lastly, video pitching. Okay, the first, whether it is relevant with Auto 2000 segment, and is it consistent with Auto 2000 value proposition? Does it answer the main problem? And how is it the application solution? Is it sound or not? And then on the financials, whether it is logical, the analysis, are the assumptions reasonable? And then on the marketing campaign, it has to be aligned from the campaign to the brand and use the latest technology utilization. And this, we're talking about marketing campaigns, so it has to be talkability and shareability driven. And for the marketing analysis, you have to adjust it in this pandemic situation, and it is applicable now. And for the video pitching, it will be scored whether it is attractive or not, the video that you're submitting, and then whether the message that is conveyed in the campaign, is it clear or not? Next slide. It's a little bit different between the previous, especially on the presentation. The presentation that you have here, it has to be engaging when you are presenting to the panelists, and then the communication, it has to be coherence between the ideas that you present and then how you answer it on the Q&A session. Next slide. So we're talking about the prizes. At the first place, you will be given $1,742. Number 2 place, you will be given $790. Number 3, $359. And for the best pitching, you'll be given $108. So now we will give you a little bit snapshots of last Marketition last year. Okay, before we begin to talk about the case provider, shall you have any questions about the technicality of the Marketition, whether it's about the emails or the presentation or the slide? You could just ask it in the chat box, or you could just ask directly. If you want to ask in the chat box, please write it under the format on the screen. So the question that will be given will be limited to 5 questions, and then we can move on with our schedule. We'll talk about the case provider.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Almas from Creative Fast Team. So I don't know that probably I missed something, but from the presentations before, I see that there is an information about semi-final round. But when I see the timeline, I didn't see any semi-final in there. So can you please explain to us when will the semi-final held? Or it is the same with the executive summary submission or what? Can you clarify? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alma. Please wait in a bit. So on semi-final and final, it will be held on the same day okay. So the semi-final will be held earlier in the day and the final will be held later on in the evening.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Nicholas from ASA team. I have a question. With regards to the presentation, is there any requirement or guideline as to how many minutes a student should speak, or it's up to us as the team? Thank you.
So you'll be having 15 minutes for pitching. The combination whether you want to speak or you want to show the slides in your presentation is completely up to your team's judgment. As long as it is under 15 minutes and for pitching and 14 minutes for Q&A.
So I would like to clarify, it doesn't matter whether only one person will be speaking or everyone will be speaking. It will not affect the grading.
No, there's no format.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Hello, may I ask a question? My name is Fadila from Five Forces. I would like to ask about the exact format to be sent and also the exact addresses to be sent our essay about the market analysis and also further information about the details. When and where and also how it should be sent. Thank you.
We'll cover about that by the end of the session after the case briefing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. For Mira in the chat box, the Phoenix 5, IPME International Business School. For the executive summary and submission, whether using PowerPoint, will there be a guideline for the data that should be submitted within particular date? The details will be explained later on the last session. And then for Mickey from FEMA, for the video submission, is it sent for the semifinal round, or do we need to send it when submitting the executive summary? Thank you. You will have to submit it with the executive summary. So the 3 to 4 minutes video presentation, you have to submit it along with the executive summary. Are the participants have any more questions about the technicality of the Marketition?
Hey, Abigail. So, yeah, I would like to ask some questions. I'm sorry, I might miss some point. So I just want to clarify. So in the elimination round, we will be submitting the executive summary and a video. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right.
You're welcome.
Okay, hello. I want to help to answer the question from Cindy from Creative Fest about the semifinal round. Are we judged by our video only or video plus presentation? So for the semifinal, the judges will not only judge based on their video only, but also with the presentation. So there is a lot of aspects that need to be part of the consideration for the judging criteria itself. And then the next one is we manage to advance to the final round. Do we present the same presentation deck or are we allowed to revise it? So when you go to the final round, you will use the same presentation deck that you used in the semifinal round. The differences between the semifinal and the final itself is when it comes to semifinal, your pitching will be like much faster than the final round. So the final round, you have the opportunity to explain more comprehensive and more detail about what you want to present. For the presentation deck is still the same because the one that you use in the semifinal and final is the one that you submitted to us before. And then the second question from Naufal from Al Guza. So if in case of the case giver interfering on the pitching, how will the pitching time measured? Will it go straight to the Q&A session? Okay, so when it comes to pitching round in the semifinal and final, there is a timer that we will use for every single team that pitching. And then when the time is up, the MC or the master of ceremony in the room or in that present will stop your presentation if the time is up, and we will go to the Q&A session for your team. So there is no extra time for participant if their pitching exceeded the time that we have mentioned earlier. Is that answer your question?
Thanks, Mr. Henrich. Actually, I want to ask is whether if we also do presentation in our semi-final round, or do we only or do the judges only watch our video? So our video will length about 15 or 19 minutes. And whether it's about our presentation video, or like kind of like the marketing campaign video, marketing plan of our solution.
Okay. So another criteria for this competition, because we are a pitching based competition and with using marketing case. So the way your pitching or the way your team pitch your idea in front of the judges can be another consideration for the um, criteria itself. So if you're pitching, so if we can go back to the slide, if I'm not wrong, the reward slide, if you may help me, Karina, the reward. Okay, so in this part there is best pitching prize below the third prize. It means that when it comes to pitching could be another criteria for another prize beside from the first until third winner. So if you want to, if I may give recommendation, participant need to do their best in pitching, because who knows, maybe you could win the best pitching criteria, even though you cannot win the first or third round in the final. And for the best pitching criteria itself, it measures from all of the participants that compete in the semi-final round. So when it comes to when you are enter the final round, but the team that give best pitching actually is the one that can move on to final round. or in the semifinal round they isn't qualified for the final, they could still have a chance to win the best pitching also.
Okay, I'll be addressing the question from Fadila. So who will present our presentation material? We or the committee? So the team will be expected to present your own material, whether you want to move on to the next slide or not. It's totally on the team.
I'm sorry, the
So-
presentation material. Oh, Abi, you want answer? To answer? You want, you can.
Already just yeah, just add it aja.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but we'll present our presentation material. It's for semifinal or final round. I'm sorry.
Hello.
For the okay.
My question is actually already answered by Abigail. It will be presented by our own team, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, should any member still have any question about the technicality, you could just shoot it right now.
Hello. I just want to confirm related to previous question about presentation deck, whether we are allowed to revise it or not. So during the final round, we have a longer like time for the video presentation, or is it the same as the semi-final round? Is it also the 3 to 5 minutes?
Okay, we still haven't quite catch what you mean by the question. If you may, could you please repeat one more? What your
So
question?
you said that we have a semi-final round and final round, right?
Yes.
And we have to create like a video presentation, 3 to 5 minutes video presentation, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it's only just for the elimination round. It's only for the executive summary. So for the pitching, it will be in PowerPoint slides. But if you want to add video, you could.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. As we still have some question that hasn't been addressed, we'll talk about that later on after the case briefing. But for now, I'll close this session, and I want to welcome the Auto 2000 case provider. There's a little bit video for the intro.
Auto 2000, jaringan Toyota terbesar di Indonesia, berkomitmen untuk memberikan pengalaman dan pelayanan yang serba lebih bagi Anda. Dengan dedikasi yang penuh dari tim sales kami, Auto 2000 selalu berupaya agar berbagai pilihan kendaraan yang kami sajikan merupakan solusi terbaik dan paripurna terhadap kebutuhan, selera, tuntutan kualitas, serta nilai purna jual bagi semua konsumen kami.
Dan waktu saya masuk ke Auto 2000 pertama, sangat ramah sekali dari marketing salesnya untuk menunjukkan mobil pilihan yang kita inginkan.
Auto 2000 memulai perjalanan pada tahun 1970 dan berhasil memperoleh berbagai prestasi dan pencapaian yang gemilang. Sebagai jaringan retail otomotif yang berorientasi pada service excellence, Auto 2000 bersikap proaktif dalam mewujudkan misi yang menjadi identitas dari kualitas yang diberikan. Dengan kenyamanan pada showroom kami, customer tetap dapat melakukan berbagai aktivitasnya secara leluasa dan mengoptimalkan waktu tunggu. Cabang Auto 2000 yang terintegrasi dan terus bertambah di berbagai kota besar di Indonesia hadir sebagai solusi yang terpercaya bagi para customer untuk keperluan pembelian, perawatan, dan perbaikan kendaraan.
Di setiap sudut tempat Auto 2000 itu selalu ada. Jadi kita tidak perlu takut untuk sampai pada servis mendadak, kita harus menghubungi di mana-mana, kita tidak perlu takut.
Fitur online booking dan Auto 2000 mobile apps diciptakan untuk customer supaya dapat mengakses berbagai layanan yang kami sediakan secara real time di mana saja dan kapan saja. Express Maintenance telah menjadi solusi favorit customer Auto 2000 yang mengutamakan kecepatan servis dan kualitas secara bersamaan karena fasilitas kami dilakukan oleh tim mekanik yang berpengalaman di bidangnya. Dengan situasi perkotaan yang padat, Toyota Home Service hadir sebagai jawaban bagi customer Auto 2000 ketika aktivitas di rumah tidak dapat ditinggalkan. Namun keperluan perawatan rutin tetap harus dilakukan agar kondisi kendaraan tetap prima. Salah satu standar yang ditetapkan dalam fasilitas body paint Auto 2000 adalah hasil akhir yang menjamin penampilan kendaraan tetap dalam kondisi prima. Untuk menjamin hal tersebut, bengkel body paint kami dilengkapi dengan teknologi terkini. Para mekanik telah terbukti dalam memberikan solusi yang relevan demi kepuasan para customer yang telah mempercayakan perbaikan kendaraannya di Auto 2000. Kami juga menyadari bahwa hal-hal tidak terduga seringkali terjadi dalam waktu yang tidak biasa.
Baiklah, armada kami akan segera meluncur ke lokasi Bapak.
Tim layanan Emergency Road Assistance siaga 24 jam untuk memberikan solusi terbaik dengan dukungan tim teknis yang berpengalaman untuk merespon secara cepat dan tepat. Berbagai kemudahan dan fasilitas layanan tersebut dikemas dalam suatu wujud komitmen, yaitu one-stop concept. Semua prestasi dan pencapaian tersebut hanya bisa dimungkinkan berkat kepedulian, kehandalan, dan komitmen dari tim Auto 2000 yang senantiasa mengedepankan kepuasan pelanggan.
Komitmen Auto 2000 adalah memberikan pelayanan yang terbaik bagi seluruh pelanggan Auto 2000.
Dan untuk mencapai semua itu, Auto 2000 selaku dealer terbesar Toyota di Indonesia akan terus berupaya untuk memberikan pelayanan yang dinamis, responsif, dan terdepan.
Auto 2000, member of Astra.
Okay, now we'll talk about the case briefing. Bapak Krisnamurti Mulyadi, PhD, Head of Magister Management Program of University Prasetya Mulia, will be assisting the case briefing of Asta 2000. Next slide.
Hey, Abigail.
Yes, sir.
Am I going to read this, or is it by the MC?
Yeah. By you. You will be covering the case briefing.
Okay. All right. So basically, the Marketition is an annual competition for graduate students, right? In Indonesia, but also opens to all universities in the world. These are some of the background, the Auto 2000 that probably some of you have known, but we do have participants from outside Indonesia. So I would like to give a little background to Auto 2000 or Auto 2000. Okay, so it's founded in 1975, and this is part of Toyota Service, a member of Astra, which is also one of the part of the foundation that builds this Universitas Prasetya Mulia, right? It's the biggest dealer in Indonesia. It has 126 branches with repair shops, body paint repair shops, services, okay, and that the units of sales been increasing exponentially throughout the years, okay, and right before the pandemic, the Auto 2000 became the first dealer in Indonesia that could sell car through its own website that we call the Auto 2000 Digiroom, or we called it or another name for the digital showroom, right? Some of the issues with the Indonesian auto industry is that recently in Indonesia we just built the MRT station and the LRT station, right? So people would have more and more options, and then we also have more alternatives in using public transportation. Okay, I mean, in general, having a public transportation is great, but also at the same time, we need to pay attention to all the individuals working in the auto industries. So how can we manage to have both the public transportation and the private transportation, okay, in Jakarta, in Indonesia, right? How can we have and maintain the ecosystem within in Indonesia? Okay. Could you go to the next slide? Okay. Now, e-commerce is one of the most growing industries in Indonesia, and then I read in one of the articles is that the amount of e-commerce in Indonesia just surpassed that of India. All right. But the issue right now is that COVID-19, the pandemic, changed um, the environment of how auto industry would survive in Indonesia, because auto industry consists of, one would be the functional aspects of cars, right? We need cars to move from one place to another place, okay? We need cars to transport things, okay? That will be the functional aspects of the cars. But in addition to that, there will be some hedonic aspects, okay? Things that we should sense with our eyes, right? With the sound, okay, with our five senses, okay, things that could be presented in offline realm, okay. So how can we transfer things that we could experience offline into a digital platform, right? the behavior of customers shifts into minimum contact options. Okay, so it's no longer possible to have a car showroom where 20, 30, 40 people would gather together in one room. Okay, it's no longer possible to have presentation at the mall. It's no longer possible to have a test drive where you sit together with a bunch of salesmen. Okay, and then what can we do where the sales of cars could be supported with an online platform? Okay, so recently e-commerce covers the furniture and home appliances industry to a point where nearly everything could be accessed via e-commerce. You can buy piano online. You can buy a dining set online, right? It's possible, okay, with all the technology, with the virtual reality, and also with the YouTube clips. Let's say if I want to buy a piano, I could look at YouTube, and then I could hear how does the piano sound through YouTube. Okay, but it's different with the car industry, because at the end of the day, you would have to sit inside the car and you have to test drive, and then you make the decision. You make an assessment on how the car is actually like, okay, how good the cars are, right? So how is it possible for the auto industry, for Auto 2000, to leverage the online platform? So seeing the opportunity, on March 2020, Auto 2000 launched a website under the name Auto 2000 DigiRoom, digital showroom that enables customers to take a closer look to Toyota car unit models and make purchases, even calculate credit plans without consulting with the dealer offline. So we learned about two concepts here. The first concept would be showrooming. All right. Showrooming would be you go to showroom, but then you make the purchase online. Or we could also do web rooming, where we would browse the websites and then we make the purchase offline. Okay. So we learn about this omni-channel of purchasing cars. Okay, cars is something that, okay, you would have to satisfy your senses. Right? I could touch the car, I could smell the car, I could feel, I could sit inside the car and start driving. I could hear the sound of the auto and how smooth it is, right? That it doesn't make so much noise. But then also I could also make the assessment offline with all the data presented within the website itself. So how could you melange, right? How could you combine the depth of the information presented online and the senses that you could get offline? Okay, that would depend on some of the ideas, some of the innovation. Okay, how could we enhance this Auto 2000 digital showroom? Okay, next, please. Next page. Could you move it, because I can't move the page here. Okay, there you go. Now, first, the market analysis. That we learn about segments, right? Segments would be individuals that could purchase this particular car using the platform, right? So who are the segments? What are the characteristics of the segments? Okay, like how much do they make? How much do they spend? How often do they go to this website? How often are they going to purchase the cars? All right, whom do they ask when they're going to purchase the car? Right, what kind of information do they look for? What are some of the benefits sought after when they buy a car? Some people buy a car for a status, right? For status, for, okay, I want to buy the nicest car, I want to buy the newest car to show with my friends. Some people buy the car because I want safety. Some people buy cars because of the value that I could get when I sell the car, the second-hand car. I might resell the car after 5 years or 6 years, right? And then, can you identify the new potential market? We have market segments, we have the target segment, we have the target market, but who are the new potential market? Who are part of the segment that we did not identify before, right? What are some of the segments that could be our next target market? Okay, let's say we've been selling this car to retirees or senior citizens, but then there's this area of senior citizens that we could tap into. Like, for example, there are some senior citizens that would like to travel with their extended family, right? Okay, maybe there we could dice that market, right? The extended family. Does the competitor analysis done in depth? Okay. Do you have the persona? Do you interview the persona? What the persona is like? Okay. What are some of the value for them? Okay. And then you create the marketing campaign. Is the campaign plan made relevant to Auto 2000 market segment? Now that you have the segments, right, and then you have the particular target market, okay, would the campaign fit with them? Would they be interested? Right? Would you address what they're looking for? Would you address some of the things that they need in a car? Some of the things that they look for when looking at the car? Is the campaign plan consistent with Auto 2000 value proposition? All right. Are you going to highlight all the strength from Auto 2000 in that particular campaign? Okay, because different things would have different strength. All right, let's say you are promoting certain food. Okay, the food could be delicious, the food could be cheap. So if you want to say that the food use the best ingredient, say that. If you want to say that the food is cheap, say that. But that has to align with what Auto 2000 all about. Okay, so you need to learn the value proposition of Auto 2000 before you come up with a campaign plan, right? Yeah, you're not gonna say the quality food as a cheap food. You're not gonna say cheap food as a quality food. So it has to align with what Auto 2000 value proposition. And try to be creative. How creative is the campaign plan, right? Is it something that anybody can do it with the campaign plan, or you think outside the box? You come up with something that nobody ever thought about before, right? So that's how you come up with the marketing campaign. Now, next part would be the solution product. Okay, so this particular product, is it relevant to the Auto 2000 market segment? All right. Is the solution consistent with the value proposition? Okay, it's like designing this particular product, designing this new thing, right, that nobody ever thought of, that actually fit with the market segment, right? That would actually be relevant, that would appeal to this market segment, and particularly the target market, right? So not just the segments, but you go into detail into the target, right? Different segments, particular target, and then maybe you cater to specific types of individuals. Can the solution be the right strategy for Auto 2000 situation? Now, we presented the situation prior to the pandemic, right? We know the e-commerce been growing. We know that the auto industry been growing. But what about after pandemic? Because that's the million-dollar question, right? We don't have a lot of data regarding the situation of industries after the pandemic. I mean, we look up online, all the data is being presented is up until March 2020. It's your task to find out what's going on after the pandemic starts, because it disrupts everything that we have. It disrupts everything that we believe would be a growing industry. Now, the last part is the most interesting part, because I mean, you can come up with any idea you want, but is there return on investment, right? We always talk about return on investment. I mean, we can always hire the best YouTubers, the best influencers. We could have the best distribution channels, but those don't mean anything if we don't generate profit, right? Okay, I mean, you could come up with the most breakthrough plan, the most ambitious plan, but then at the end of the day, not only that it has to be feasible, but it has also be viable, meaning that there's enough fund, okay, to finance the whole marketing campaign and the product. Is the financial analysis based on logical assumption and calculation? And do you think you could generate profit, right, that would justify the amount of cost that you are going to propose? Is the cost structure comprehensive? Okay, you include all the details. Like if you are going to have an event, you need to promote that event, right? Because otherwise nobody's going to come to that event. So then you have to include the promotion costs, right? If you are going to demonstrate the car, then you have to include all those, probably the media, the people, the logistic, right? The catering, a lot of things surrounding the plant should also be calculated and included. Is the cost structure realistic enough, right? Viability. You need to know the budget that they have. What are some of the things that Auto 2000 did in the past? Okay, you can change the slide, please, Abigail. I wish I have the ability to change the slide, but I can't. I mean, can somebody? Okay. Now, the marketing challenge. Do you think the automated purchasing behavior would transform from offline to online? All these hedonistic and functional aspects of buying cars, can you see that online? What are the variables that may affect customers when they decide to purchase a car without directly coming to a dealer offline? What are some of the information that they look for when they go online? Okay, how could you make the experience of buying cars online as close as possible with buying cars offline? What is the strategy to make customers feel secure in converting to purchase the car online? Okay, there are people have been purchasing watches, right? Luxury watches online. And when they purchase luxury watches online, right, they take pictures of the watches, right? They look at the market value, whether the price, the value would appreciate or depreciate, right? Um, Also, they would use escrow service, meaning that they put the money somewhere and then the seller would be able to retrieve the money after the buyer feels satisfied with the watch. Okay, but obviously buying cars would be way more complex than buying watches. Okay, what is the strategy to make Auto 2000 DigiRoom the top preference compared to other e-commerce choices? Okay, what are some of the things that make Auto 2000 DigiRoom the top of mind, better than other e-commerce choices? I mean, probably Mobile 123 or OLX or other things where you could sell cars online. But yeah, let's do this for Auto 2000. Okay, the second part, what is your opinion about digital transformation to automotive business landscape for the next 5 years? Okay, what are some of the factors that determine the buying behavior and the ecosystem in buying cars within the next 5 years? Do you think COVID would go down now that we found vaccine? Right, you could look at the graph of a COVID, the case rate, and also the death rate, the fatality rate from COVID, right, after the vaccine was invented and distributed. Illustrate the market condition, promotion strategies, customer behaviors, and proper technology choices. Okay, uh, present this, explain this, okay, so that the judges could understand. All right, use their perspective, use their point of view. Okay, make this as crystal clear as possible. Will the upcoming situation decrease the number of existing offline dealers and the human labors with the digital transformation going on around the world? Okay, would take away the traditional showroom and dealers and move everything online. Okay, so that's some of the thing. Okay, could you go to the next slide, please? Next slide. Okay. Now, if you still have any question, please submit it through email to marketition@prasetyamulya.ac.id. Make sure you pay attention to the spelling, correct? Prasetya. Okay, there's an I between T and Y, because I realized that a lot of people make that mistake, Prasetya instead of prasetyamulia.ac.id, and with the title format Marketition 2021. Okay. Team.university. I'm gonna return that to Abigail. Thank you.
Okay, so about the case that previously mentioned by Krishnamurti, if you have any questions, you will be given 3 days so that you can discuss with your team first. Then take some time, understand the case, really get to know about it, whether which part that you still don't understand. And then on April 8th, 2021, on a Thursday, you have to submit the questions. And then on April 13th, 2021, on Tuesday, your question will be responded by our committee. And then Auto 2000 as well, with a video. And then with a format of as shown on the screen, Marketition 2021 underscore theme underscore university for the title. To the address marketition@prasetyamulia.ac.id. So we'll be covering some of the questions from previous Q&A session. I welcome Heinrich maybe to address the questions.
Okay, there is some question that come in my WhatsApp. I would like to, ini from Fadila 54 UGM. I would like to confirm based on previous questions. So the video that we submit is kind of a marketing campaign that we present it in a pitching session. So yeah, the video is pretty much sum up your marketing plan that had already been mentioned earlier by Mr. Krishna about for the elimination round is about the executive summary that participant made. So you made your executive summary into a video that explaining all about the marketing plan. Within the time 3 until 4 minutes time frame. And then next from Vika from Nyap Squad, what kind of video we should submit? Meanwhile, our team member comes from different province and it's impossible to hold a soon direct meetup. Okay, if there is some limitation that your team have, probably according to like region or maybe from place, different province, like Vika mentioned earlier. You can make a video as creative as possible. If there is limitation, like you can make a video together, or maybe like having your group make a video pitching all together, you can make like the representative, like only one of them that present it. There's no problem in that situation. So if there is any limitations according to team, feel free to use your own creativity to make the video or maybe the submission as good as possible. We don't restrict anything. If you really have a limitation, we respect your team decision. And then from Yusuf, the elite from PPM, is there a limit about the number of slides in the executive summary? Thank you. There is no limit in the executive summary, but the executive summary structure, like we have already mentioned earlier in the presentation. For the slide itself, we don't give any limit, so it's based on the team creativity. If you wanted to make like 5 slides that is enough for you, maybe like 5 slides, it's okay. If you want to share, maybe because you have a lot of data to show, or maybe you have like statistical backup for secondary data for your marketing plan, and then it makes you come up with like more than 15 or maybe a lot of slides that you need to cover, it's okay. Well, okay, next from Muhammad Ramdhani from Famous. All the files submitted automatically could be used by committee or sponsor without any consent from the participant. So technically, when we submitted your executive summary and video presentation, it will be sent to Auto 2000 because there could be one of our guest judges for this event. So, but if you are asking about the consent, we are urged all of our partners, including our cash provider, to give information or to give first have a consent from the participant that create, because we respect the creativity from every single member of the team. So we will ask for your consent first if Auto 2000 are going to use your marketing plan. We will urge that to our case provider as our ethics. And then there is a question from Cindy from Sadajiwa for the video presentation. If there's any require or term and condition for video, or the video be able to creative design and editing by our team. And for the executive summary, have any structure by committee Marketition? Okay, so for the video, you can make as creative as possible. If your team are good at editing skill, maybe you can utilize as much as you want for the video. And then for the structure for executive summary, Karina, could you please help me show the structure for the executive summary submission? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Sabrina, can you help me? Is there the executive summary structure? Are we going to send it later to participant, or?
For the executive summary format will be sent later by the LO of each group. So you will receive later, okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, the structure will be sent later after this technical meeting be conducted. Thank you. And then for the Rackwell from Tsukuba University, Sabrina, can you help me to answer? Do we have a video with English subtitle for Auto 2000?
We can set it later because there is no any English subtitle, but we can put the English subtitle and give it to the participants.
Hello, Hendrik.
Hello.
Okay. Hendrik, well, I would like to ask the question actually regarding to the case itself. The first question is, do we will get the penalty if we are present the idea speaking exceed the dedicated time, or yes, that that you give to us? And then the second question is, are we allowed to have the primary data from the company, as for the examples like the current this current sales performance of Auto 2000 based using their own website or something like that?
Okay, I will answer the first question first. For the time limit, there's a penalty or not. For the semi-final and final round, if your team exceeding the time frame or time limit that we have given to you, like 10 minutes or 20 minutes time limit, and then your pitching will be stopped by our timer, our MC that present in the room. And then for the for the elimination video, if you are exceeding 4 minutes, we only going to take the first 4 minutes of your video to our judging criteria. So for example, if you have 6 minutes speaking, you made and then you send to us, the first 4 minutes is the one that we are going to take as a consideration for the judging criteria to make it fair for other participant that already make a 4-minute video. And then for the second question, Sabrina, can you help me? Is there any information regarding Auto 2000 maybe on their website? Okay, Team Blue Ocean, can you repeat the second question regarding the Auto 2000, please? I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay, thank you. Well, actually, I would like to ask, are we possible to get the primer data from the company, like the internal data about the current performance of the business itself? For the example, they are currently launching their own website where we can buy the car from the website by the online system. So can we get like the primary data about how much the car that they already sold to the customer by the online system? So I think that would be helpful for all of us in here because we already know the current condition or the current position of the business itself. So it would be beneficial for us to make the improvement based on that condition, because if we don't have like only make the assumption of the business current condition for the Auto 2000 itself, I think the impact that we can give through this competition would not be very impactful gitu, because we don't know the real current condition of the business, or we only or we just can make the assumption by using maybe like survey or anything or something like that. So that's the question.
Okay, thank you. So for the primary data itself, from the Auto 2000, they're not giving us more information about internal data that participant could use. But for the secondary data, every participant can search their own secondary data that can be used for the marketing plan itself. We already discussed it with Auto 2000 representative, and they really respect if any of you could give them a secondary data that could establish your marketing plan or your marketing idea, so it can be as strong as possible when you guys present it on the final day or on the pitching video. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Sabrina, we don't get any primary data.
Yes,
Correct me if I'm
the
wrong.
Auto 2000 didn't give any data according to the internal data, and you can use the assumption for your research and you can do the research on the website or on the internet. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Sabrina Henrich.
Hello, can I make a question? This is Raquel from Tsukuba University. So, just to clarify, on May the 7th, we need to submit the executive summary. And you're gonna give us later on the guidelines to the executive summary, right? And later on, we need to submit a 3 to 4 minutes video. And that video, it depends of every team creativity. You don't have any guidelines? Or it is related to the executive summary, or is it related to our marketing campaign idea?
Okay, about the video pitching, it's according to the executive summary. So you can make a video, be creative as possible, and that's based on your executive summary. Maybe Henrich can explain more about the video pitching.
Okay, so if I may explain, the base of the elimination round itself is your executive summary. That the structure for the executive summary will be given later. But the reason that we want to give to have another video pitching itself to make it more interesting for this competition for the judging criteria itself, because we know that when it comes to paper and when it comes to pitching, students are very creative when it comes to have their own video or their own pitching. So we really appreciate the creativity of each of our participant, especially when you're a graduate student. You have gone through a lot of learning back in your undergraduate studies, and then now, and we will give you opportunity and platform to deliver your own creativity by using the video pitching that will be submitted and will be taken into consideration for our judging criteria. And just like Sabrina mentioned earlier, the video itself, it explains the executive summary that you create earlier using the structure that we will be given.
Okay, thank you. I have another question. Sorry.
Yeah,
On
it's okay.
regards the finance proposition, do we have a budget, or do the company has given a specific budget for the marketing campaign that we need to respect?
Okay, so marketing for the marketing budget itself, the company didn't give us any detailed information about how many budget that you can allocate for this marketing plan. So our committee take it as you can make you can allocate how much budget as you want, but like Sir Chris mentioned earlier, you need to be responsible for the budget that you use or you're going to use for the marketing plan, because we are not $1 million business, so every single dollar that we use for this marketing plan need to be worth the cost itself.
Let me piggyback on that. So basically, okay, this just some additional input about the judges. So basically, whenever you put the marketing budget, okay, it would be better if you also include the target. What do you expect to gain from certain marketing activities? Like for example, you would use some influencers, or you would create some YouTube videos and channels. Okay, what do you want to gain? Like from the impression wise, the conversion wise, right? And then how much money you could generate from all the money that you are going to spend on those, certain marketing channels, right? I mean, if I'm gonna spend like $1 million to put a billboard around the area, what do I hope to gain in the following 2 or 3 years? What's the next or 2 or 3 years? How many people are going to come to the showroom or come to the digital showroom, right? How much of increase do I expect? See, therefore, you could justify the amount of money that you are putting into that particular budgeting activities. Okay, I hope that helps.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Right, no problem.
Okay, thank you, Marcus. So for today's Q&A session, unfortunately, I need to close it now to follow the schedule that we're having. To remind you again, shall you have more questions, just insert it in the email and then you can submit it. And the deadline is April 8th, 2021 on Thursday. Next slide. And then again, to remind you for the elimination round, it has to be submitted on 7 May 2021 to be specific on Indonesian time zone, waktu Indonesia Barat, 23:59, before midnight. You have to submit it to marketition@prasetyamulia.ac.id on the format down below. And then if you submit it later than that, it will not be accepted and any revision will not be permitted. So that will be all. Next slide. Thank you for the participation today. Before I close the session of this Zoom meeting, I invite you all to open the camera. We'll do a little bit documentation for the participant that attends today. A little bit photos. Okay. The team screenshot, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Right.
since there's a lot of participants here, we'll do it one by one. We'll do first slide first, okay? Okay, we'll be having and a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got it? Okay, next slide. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then the third slide. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think the last one after this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and that will be all for today's session. Thank you for your participation today, and good luck for the team member. If you have any question, again, just submit it on the email. Thank you. You may leave the room now.